Journaling has helped me to heal parts of myself that were deeply rooted, issues that I had that I didn't want to address, issues that I had that I didn't even realize were a problem until I started looking at my life and I started seeing things just not going how I wanted it to go, looking at the different type of relationships that I had that I was messing up. Peace everybody, and welcome to everyone who's new to the channel. I'm Khalil Gerard, and here I love to discuss all things personal development, psychology, spirituality, philosophy, self-healing, and things of that nature. So these are the type of topics you like to listen to and learn more about. This is the channel for you. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and welcome to the journey. Now today I want to go further into shadow work, and in the terms of shadow work, I want to discuss journaling. I've been journaling all of my life. These are just two journals I have. This one right here is just my day-to-day journal that I use, and this one is like a day-to-day journal, but I do affirmations. And this one I talk about what's on my mind. Now as far as journaling has always been important to me because I've always had things on my mind and I just have to get them out. I can usually tell if I'm in a downward spiral or in a funk, whatever you want to call it, in my life. Typically, if I look in my journals and there's a huge gap in between entries. And I say that because usually when there's a huge gap, I haven't been living in the present moment. I've been on autopilot, right? Because usually when I'm conscious and I'm in the present moment, I know to write these things down. Now I bring that up to you because in shadow work, for those of you who are new to shadow work, check out this video right here. I recently made a video discussing pretty much the intro into shadow work concept that's been developed by Carl Jung. But shadow work as a practice has been going on since ancient times. But nonetheless, in your shadow side, you're dealing with the unconscious side of you. That part of you that you may not be aware of, that part of you that you've repressed. And when you're not dealing in the present moment, you're most definitely not going to be dealing with the shadow world or your shadow side from a conscious standpoint. This brings me back to journaling. Now, when you're journaling, usually you're in the present moment because in order to write things down, you have to be thinking, right? You have to be present to actually come up with these things. And when you get to writing in your journal, you'll be amazed about the type of things that just comes out, especially if you're being true. You don't go into it with an agenda. You're just literally writing everything that's on your mind. Even if it's one word, even if it's one line, just get into the practice of writing this down. As far as myself, whenever I do journaling, I like to date it. I like to put the actual day of the year that it is. If, like, let's say if it's a Monday, I like to put Monday, whatever the date that it is. Let's say it's April 1st, 2024, I'll put that date down, right? And then when I finish with the journal entry, I like to put the actual time, right? Because these are things I like to go back. Let's say 10 years from now, if I'm looking in my journal and I turn to a random page and I can see the exact day, the year, the time of what I was thinking at that moment. It's been so many times I look back in my journal and I was like, wow, I was thinking that. I actually wrote that. Oh, I forgot about that, right? And I think about all of those entries that I didn't write down. Because let's be honest, you can't write down everything that you experience and everything that you think, because life is an ongoing process. Journaling has helped me to heal parts of myself that were deeply rooted, issues that I had that I didn't want to address, issues that I had that I didn't even realize were a problem until I started looking at my life and I started seeing things just not going how I wanted it to go, looking at the different type of relationships that I had that I was messing up, right? Looking at the type of behaviors and habits that I had that were considered in some instances toxic, to consider immature. As I grow in my understanding, I'm growing to not even look at those things in a judgmental standpoint, right? Because we all have an inner child, and the majority of the world is still dealing with issues, repressed issues, deeply rooted childhood issues that, for whatever reason, if it was the parents that they had, the environment that they grew up in, the community that they grew up in, what they were subjected to, at some point their shadow side was born because they couldn't be who they truly are. For example, when I was young, I remember like my father always telling me that I used to cry all the time, right? And I remember maybe around, if I could think of like an earliest moment that I remember him telling me this, I had to have been about eight or nine or something like that. And he, I remember he said that I cried a lot when I was younger. Now, if you think about it, the average person, if they try to remember their childhood, their early childhood, maybe they may have some memories when they were 4, maybe even 3, right? But it's very rare that you come across people who have memories from when they were 3 or younger. Although you may not remember those times have a deep impact on who you are as a person. Those are your foundational years, right? And when he told me that, from that moment, I just remember to stop crying, right? To not cry. I got self-conscious about that type of thing. I always been a poet, I always been a writer, but I always felt like I really couldn't tap into my emotions the older that I got, right? I wanted to feel things, but I felt cold. I had went through so many different things at an early age that I just grew numb to a lot of things, right? And maybe the people around me as I was growing up throughout high school and my college days and my 20s, maybe they may not even knew these things about me because I may not have spoke about them. And if I did, it might have been in my poetry, it may have been a metaphor or in a rap or something like that, right? But nonetheless, all of these things happened to me in my childhood that I just didn't really deal with. I didn't have a therapist or anyone that I spoke to, right? My parents, I wasn't able to go to them to talk to them about certain type of things. So a lot of things that I went through, I had to work through them myself. I had to work through them in life. When you're working through things yourself, without the help of a professional or, a parent or guardian, someone who you could trust, who can help you work out through these things, you're going to get a lot of things wrong, right? When you're doing things by yourself, you're going to do a lot of things wrong. And that's okay, right? For the most part, like, none of us are perfect. You're going to make mistakes. But the thing about journaling, at least what that can do, it can make you conscious of how you feel, your emotions, your thoughts. When you go back to look at these things, you can get a better understanding of that part of you, again, that you've repressed, that part of you that's your shadow, that part of you that's unconscious, but it's living, that is real. You may not see it, you may not be aware of it, but the people around you may be aware of it. And people may even describe you a certain type of way or say you do a certain thing or act a certain way. And you may be in big disbelief about that. Like, no, I don't do that. I don't talk like that. I don't think like that. And, that's just your perspective. Your perspective and the public's perspective are two totally different things. Some things may be the same, but in others, in a lot of other ways, those things are differing, right? That's not to say that it's right or wrong or anything like that. It's just, again, showing you a side of yourself that exists that you may not be aware of. And the shadow side is something that you shouldn't fear. It's something that you should know. It's something that you have to integrate. And again, journaling is a good way to integrate this side of yourself, because there's power in the dark side. There's power in the shadow. You see, there's a negative connotation about darkness and shadow that comes off as evil and different things like that, right? Wherever your religious beliefs is, some spirituality, some philosophies, discuss this, right? But in this instant that I'm referring to, look at the dark side or the shadow side as the unknown, right? Because think about it, what you know is just a drop. What you don't know is an ocean, right? So the unknown is far greater than what's actually known. And the more you get to know about yourself, the better that you can operate and navigate in this thing we call life, right? The ancients said, know thyself. And you can't know thyself if you don't face yourself. If you don't physically look at yourself in the mirror, you're not able to see what's going on the outside of you, right? Like maybe you can see your hands and stuff, you can't see your face, right? So it's important to look in the mirror, right? And that's physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, the mirror that you can look into is that journal, your thoughts, the relationships you have with people, but most importantly, the relationship you have with yourself. So if you're not already a journaler, I suggest and I highly recommend that you purchase yourself a journal, right? You get a journal. And again, it's not something that you have to write a whole novel or anything, right? You can start with one word, you can start with a sentence, and then the more and more you practice this thing, those words are going to just start flowing out of you, right? And this isn't something that you need to share with anyone else. This is something that's private. It's something that's sacred. It's something that's you. And I guarantee you, it's only going to improve your life. It's only going to help you out in ways that you may not even be fully aware of. So I'll leave you all with that. If you could do me a huge favor, if you haven't already and you made it this far, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button and hit the like button on this video. I want to be able to get this message out to as many people as possible, get the algorithm all fired up. If you could do me a huge favor and do that, I would really appreciate that. Also, after you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified anytime a new video of mine releases. And also do me a huge favor. If you believe, you truly feel in your heart that this message not only help you, but can help someone that you love, please go ahead and share this message with them. Because I truly believe each one teach one, each one reach one. Part of my mission and journey in life is not just only to make myself better, but to help make others better. That's why I have a YouTube channel. That's why I love to talk about things like this, because I truly love people. I truly love humanity, and all of the madness and all of the wickedness and all of the cruelty in the world. I know underneath all of that is something beautiful, and I'm not a perfect person. And I know it's not about perfection. It's about progression and just every day working on becoming a better person than you were the day before. I like to gift that to others and help them and encourage them. So share this video with someone you love. Next, I want you to go ahead and watch this video. It's going to be one that the algorithm feels like will help you out the best, that should be recommended from out of my videos. Once again, I'm Khalil Gerard. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you making it this far in the video, and I pray that you have a beautiful day, afternoon, evening, and life. Till next time, I'll see you over there. Peace.